Switch
On.
over to YouTube. Here we go. IG, please
Check,
join
check,
yourself
one,
there.
two.
Check, check.
Las Aslan Natives Podcast, LA Natives
Yo, yo, yo.
Podcast.
Cool.
Lost Aslan. Here we go. All right. What's up, Daniel? How you been?
I've been all right, brother. It's been kind
Long
of.
week, huh?
It's been kind of warm over here where I'm from.
Oh yeah.
I can't complain.
It's
But
kind of overcast over here. It wasn't too crazy, but
it's hotter
I
yesterday.
did enjoy myself on Monday at Venice, like I always do.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good you do that.
That's like my hangout, bro. Like Venice is like recharge mode, you know?
No,
I don't know if you've been hearing all the latest news that it might be the most hottest summer ever in history.
Oh no.
Hey, brother. No, wait. It's been hot every day. Like every. I guess every day they broke a record this year. You know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, the weather is sometimes unpredictable. Sometimes it is, you know.
Oh, you're funny. You know, I think it's predictable. Don't you remember your son doing a report and we talked about global warming using the Aztec calendar? I don't know if you remember that.
Okay, let's talk about global warming for a second.
What the fuck?
But I
is that,
stoned
though?
out and
Honestly,
left
I don't
it
even know
there.
what it is, bro.
It's like global warming is like war on terror. Like global warming. That means, does the globe get warm? Yes. It also gets cold.
Hey, but Ruben, think about it.
Like it's a term made by individuals that want to control the environments upon which we live. That's the whole agenda of 2030, right? The whole agenda of 2030 is to put people into smart cities because of global warming, right? What is your take on global warming, Daniel?
The thing is, Ruben, I know because I studied the Tonal Machotl that we started a sun cycle in the year 2000.
Wow.
So we're going to go 686 years into the heat. And so
Sweet.
And so here's the thing. It's interesting because we've gone through it already. They've talked about it, you know. And so I see, man, you got to see it like, you know, where's the future? And the thing is, the future is trying to deal with the heat, you know, the way our ancestors did, you know, and the way our ancestors did was the way they built, the way they lived, where they lived, you know. And like you always talk about, it's their diet, you know, because you imagine in this world that's going to be a lot hotter, you carry more weight around, and that's going to be a burden on yourself, you know. And so it's an interesting thing because they already predicted that the planet was warming up. Now, all those other things that modern day talks about, it's just adding sauce to already a burning, you know, situation. But they're tracking it. They're tracking it. They know because they built all of our buildings are still standing. So we've already been through this. This is the 6th time we've been through this. So, you know, Chico say in our language.
Chico say, right.
And so, you know, it's it ain't our first rodeo, homie.
Well, I mean, it's also important not to, you know, categorize things, you know, in ways that are coming from a source that you know is controlled, right? That media source is controlled and it's always been controlled. Now they're learning on how better ways to use it. You know what I mean? Because
for sure,
just the way the media paints pictures, you know what I mean? Of
well, the narrative, right?
Yeah. The general narrative, right? Yeah. Like kind of like the I don't know if you guys are familiar with Terrence Howard. Remember the Terrence Howard thing? Do you know the Terrence Howard thing, Armando? No. It's an actor. He was in that movie.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Terrence Howard. Yeah.
Terrence Howard. I want to talk about him too.
Apparently he got blackballed, right?
Well, they started.
Those the reptilians, Ruben, or no?
Huh?
Is that the reptilians?
Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard? Is he talking about the reptilians or is that something?
No. What he does is he's kind of questioning the order of the current math system, right? He's saying, how does 1 times 1 equal 1? Right? 1 times 1 equal 1. When 1 times 1 equals 2. 1 plus, not plus, but times in it, multiplying it is 2, not 1. That's what he's challenging. And what he did was he took the flower of life that was in the Egyptian wall.
Okay.
And kind of decoded it. And so he came up with these very, very deep, like philosophical, like mathematical philosophy, you know, in terms of like the flower of light and decoding it and the math structures, and people started laughing at him. People
this
in the educated realm started laughing at him and this and that, but turns out that other physicists on TikTok and all that were like, he's completely right.
Let's check out what he says right here.
Because you know how I figured it out? What's 1 times 1?
1 times 1 is 1.
To multiply means to do what? To make more, right?
Yes.
Increase in number,
Yes.
multiply.
Yes.
How can 1 times 1 equaling 1 be part of the multiplication table? It fails to satisfy the term multiply. It doesn't multiply. Does it? What's an action times an action?
You got some weed.
No, I'm asking you. Honestly, I'm asking you. Reason.
What are we doing here?
Reason. I want you to reason.
I don't know.
What's an action times an action? A reaction. Right? Have you
Okay.
ever seen an action times an action without a reaction? Have you? No. Because equanimity is the currency of the universe. There's always an action times an action having a reaction. So how can 1 times 1 equal 1? How can A times B just be A and not B? What happened to conservation
Terrence,
of
these
energy?
are late night.
He's challenging these very ingrained ways of counting and doing certain things, right? And he's talking about no straight lines. Like there's no straight lines in the universe, right? It's all waves. He goes like, pull up one of the recent ones from Joe Rogan. Like those were pretty interesting.
But think about Ruben. He's just using vocabulary, for a concept.
Right. But it's challenging the current narrative, right?
Sure.
Like imagine this 1 times 1. It seems like stupid, right? Like why are we even talking about 1 times 1, right? He's just using.
Well, it's the example, and if you don't get the example, you're not going to get the question.
Right. So 1 times 1 equals 1, but if we're multiplying and we're adding another value to the next number, then 1 times 1 is 2.
Right.
Right? Okay. But if 1 times 1 is 1, and then we go into a banking system, right? We go into a banking system that holds your money and holds your rent and it holds your bills with 1 times 1 equaling 1. They stole 1 from you and you don't even see it. You see?
Right.
So now let's take that analogy of 1 times 1 equaling 1 and put it and apply it to a loan. So every 1 times 1, they take 1. You don't even see it. That's what he's trying to say. You can't have this financial system with 1 times 1 equaling 1. Because then you're taking something and they're not seeing it.
Right.
That's basically what I got out of it. That's just, and if the chat has a different opinion, then please put it in there because, we want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I think.
But he's been going off on a lot of topics.
Yeah, 'cause he has patents. He's like kind of a Tesla dude. Like he has certain patents for certain ideas and machines but the interesting thing for me is how the educated community is receiving it. But the media, like the like if you pull up
He claims he has the original patent for VR, like virtual reality, right? And
That's interesting.
yeah, and he shows it on the Joe Rogan podcast. He shows it.
Wow.
It's all filed by him and all that stuff. I don't know if it's true. I'm not going off the validity of what it's true. But the one thing that did catch my eye is 1 times 1 equals 1. And if we do that in a banking system for any financial thing, they're making 1 disappear and you're not seeing it. And if you apply that principle to religion, if you apply that principle to loans, if you apply that principle to anything, it's like spelling, right? It's like, language is spelling. And if we take the word spell, well, they're casting a spell on someone by spelling, right? All these things have hidden hidden
Right.
agenda
Meaning.
behind it. Like, I saw this one post where they were talking about language, and it's going to apply to 1 × 1 = 1, right? And they're saying like I can't wait to get to the weekend, right? Because at the end of the week, you're weak. It's the end. You're weak at the end,
Right.
right? Or morning. Good morning. It's like oxymoronic to say good morning because you're telling someone to mourn in a good way. Be happy that you're mourning. Good
Right.
morning, right? Am I wrong or
No, but I think of the word break fast. Same thing, you break your fast.
or awake, right? Are you awake? But awake is a funeral, right? So you're saying I'm awake, but you're really referring to a funeral, which is dead.
Right. Right.
And then we wonder why we are in poverty. We wonder why we don't have certain things because 1 × 1 = 1. But if multiplication means to add value, then 1 × 1 = 2. Right? Am I wrong on that?
I mean, the thing is, Ruben, I know. Look at first off, okay, if you're talking about money, it's kind of hard to talk about money and in solid numbers, okay? Because the fact that money, the value goes up and down, it's kind of weird. I mean, and that kind of lead into the peso's dropping. Why is the peso dropping? Because all of a sudden, the greedy ass capitalist said, you know what? We're not going to be able to steal all this money at such a cheap rate now. Now the peso's going to drop because the people that we're taking from, they're going to want rights and they're going to want, and so that money changes, the value of the money changes. So it's interesting. But I think going back to what you're talking about the loans, I think the way it works is that the that the what is it? The loan, like when you make a loan, they loan you the money, and then you're right. I think they get the money too.
Yeah.
So like it's
No,
like
they go
like
they
they
go,
get
you have the money, but pay us the payment. Like,
right. No, but they get the payment when the money comes to them. But you're right though, and it's kind of interesting. But that's the way banks work.
right.
It's kind of weird, but
It,
it's
it was it was as actually the way banks work now is by giving you a loan, right? And that
well, I
loan,
don't even know how they work, to be honest with you, Ruben. But I'm just
but let's take in general. Think about this very good. Audience, chat. They go, here's a loan, and you have to pay it back with what?
interest.
Okay. Back in the medieval times, there was a group of individuals, the Khazarians, who were run out of every country because they were giving loans that had interest, which was called usury. Usury was illegal. To give a loan with interest means like you were stealing, right? You're stealing from someone because you're making them pay this imaginary debt because you were given a certain amount of money.
Right.
So that concept of usury has washed down during the years of now to the modern time where we going, hey, we want a personal loan, like those write a check loans, and guess what the interest is on that? The interest on a write a check loan is like, do you know what can you look that up, Armando?
It's like 25%, Ruben. Like
Yeah, it's
20.
like 25
Yeah.
fucking percent, bro.
But again, dude, that's the way money and capitalists work.
That's usury.
Okay.
That's usury. Look it up. Usury. Look up the word usury.
Well, it's in the room, but all this stuff is really kind of like, I don't know.
URY.
It's like mumbo jumbo of the people that came here, though. You know what I mean? Because we had land, and from the land, you live off the land. There was just a symbiotic experience that we lived on the land. And so it's interesting that really the people that came here, their whole idea, because if you use money, what money really is that you can buy people. You can actually sit back and not do anything, and the money's supposed to work for you. It's a different way of looking at our existence here, because that whole system, Ruben, doesn't help the planet, doesn't help nature, doesn't help water. I mean, it's just a system it's kind of like when people come in and they somehow give a perception or a judgment. No connection to what, the real relevant information you're dealing with. It's just somehow somebody gets a privilege and they get
So the
yeah.
word usury means a word that means the lending of money at high interest rates or the crime of charging an interest rate that is too high.
See?
That's too high.
Any interest rate is too high. It's the wording. It's like they're like playing all this like word salad with you, right?
But Ruben, it's
But
huge
what was
though.
the second part? So what was the second part of it, Armando? You said,
Or the crime of charging an interest rate that
or
is
the
too high.
crime, or the crime, or the crime. That's a very critical word. Crime. The crime? Why is that the crime of using a high interest? Like, what is? So then, if we're saying that the right check loans is 25%, is that a crime? Is that too high? It's a crime. Yet we're so washed over and uneducated about these words that we go, oh yeah, well that's my interest rate. That's what I'm stuck in that 10% interest rate. When it's a crime to high to charge too much interest.
But also too, though, Ruben, the interest, bankruptcy, all these things were set up by the people that formulated this experiment they call the United States. Because like in the 1800s, like in the 1860s, when they were trying to form a better union, and they'd say like maybe 80% of the people in the universities were studying to be lawyers because they were creating all the laws that we are dealing with today. But again, too, it's all from the East Coast moving to the West. So in the East Coast, they make up the laws, and in the West Coast, they prove them or choose to, or attempt to prove them. And so we've got this, manifest destiny. These
Remember,
motherfuckers.
we could review, right? You said where do they make the what? The laws in the East Coast, right? They make
Yeah.
the laws, right? The laws are from the
Well,
East
they
Coast.
create the laws. They say, okay, we're going to tax you, and
Right.
you can have a gun, like, but they don't. They're just making up. They're creating a bureaucracy of
But from
rules and
the East,
laws
it came
that
from
are
the
in there really kind of for them. And then the thing about the whole thing is when they're enforced, because there's the law and there's the enforcing of the law.
we should review. We have to review what law is. What is law then? Like, and just
I
from
don't know. I mean, that's a good
it's
question.
a
I would
policy, right?
assume.
It's a policy written by these individuals who are elected officials, right?
I mean, but here's the thing,
That's what
man.
they tell
There's
you.
common law. There's
That's the
like
surface. That's exactly right. There's maritime law. There's
maritime law,
admiralty
land
law.
law.
There's admiralty law, maritime law. Those are the only true laws. Maritime law, admiralty law, land law of the land, law of the water. Right. That's why we have to have a birth certificate.
Right.
Right, because we come down the canal of our mother.
But again, dude, this is all monetizing. What you're describing is the formation, is nature. Nature's occurring because nature, who creates in nature? It's the woman. The man doesn't create. And a lot of this too, I don't know if it's the underlying note though, that man, patriarchy, comes in and shoves matriarchy to the side. Says, oh no, a man's the creator. You look at Jesus. Why the fuck are we looking at some dude? You know what I mean? And it's just, it's all stuff though, Ruben. Think about all the money too, man. Where do you see a woman in finances? All the finance. This is a man-centered, like all the rules and shit. Somebody say, hey, you can't talk. If you go back in time, a woman can't even speak. And again, to you, it's interesting. All the places you're talking about, all that part of the world, they believe man. They believe Allah, Jesus, all this shit. Who do they talk about that's a female? Who do they say that's, because they land over here, and this is the land of Mother Nature. We're a matriarchal, women run stuff over here. So there's two worlds, The
Again,
anus runs into the mouth.
right. I wanna elaborate more on
Okay.
things, but I want to get back to law, right? So we're saying that elected officials from the east side of the country create laws that get enacted and go countrywide, right? They come from the east to the west, right?
But it begins with the Constitution.
When we understand the name of what we're saying, so if we go deeper into the Republic, the books that were written prior to the 1890s, 1870s, 1860s, we're talking about 1800, 1700, 1500. Law means land, air, and water. Land, air, and water.
Interesting.
They're writing the policies
of
of
land,
all land, air, and what. That's law. Don't.
Well, hold on.
don't-
It sounds like authoritarian law to me.
But that's what they've been since they've gotten here.
Well, I agree.
It's
Because
always been authoritarian. Like they let you loose. Yeah, you can go and live in your shitty apartment, but don't try to fucking act up because you will go to jail.
But Ruben, the reason I think of a parent raising their kids authoritarian,
Mhm.
and you wonder why the kids are the way they are.
Right.
Because
So-
I mean, my background is psychology, and so I see how violence and trauma affects the brain, but when they're young, and it's kind of interesting because it's not the same, but like they say, like who was it? Stalin said, if you give a dog to feed give it to eat every day, and it's not trying to compare humans to dogs, but he's making a point here that you feed that dog every day, then one day you shave fucking all its hair off and you beat the shit out of it. The next day you have food, it will come back. It will come back and still eat that food. And so you know what I'm saying, it's like he was trying to say something about humanity there, and we're not dogs, but he was saying, oh, okay, like, and it's true. And I realized that just recently. I've realized that, and I'm not trying to be racial, but these men come and they're just talking about Allah and all that. I say, hey man, where you come from? Oh, no, I said, where did you come from? Where did you come out of? And they don't get it. They'll never say I came out of a woman. They can't fucking say it. And I was like, damn, dude, let's stop talking here because I can't, you're talking about creation, all this shit, like, oh, yeah, and you're, man, Allah. And it's like, dude, because you know me, but I love my dad, but my dad's kind of
I forgot
cool,
what the acronym for Allah was.
It's Astana. What is it?
No, not the religious one. There's another one that's like that kind of puts it into.
You're right. It's
oh,
Ohala.
it's kind of like they broke down the word Israel, right?
Okay. But I know the word Ohala, and they say in Spanish, Ohala means Ohala that pray to Allah, I'll see you tomorrow. So that's from their the culture that came from across the sea.
So like
we mix with them.
Allah has the same kind of breakdown as I'm going to break down Israel, right?
Same place, same neighborhood.
I heard a breakdown of Israel is ISIS, Ra is Ra from Egypt, like the god of Ra.
That's the sun.
And El, the elder, the higher spirit. So Israel is following ISIS, following Ra as the elder, as the elder of all elders. That's a hidden underneath versus, we're the original people of this land right here that we're all fighting over, right?
There's also too a guy in the chat says it too.
There's esoteric meanings to these things.
Yeah.
There's so many. Think of Alienated podcast, Last Aslan. Think of time and history as an onion, right? And whoever controls the peeling of the onion is going to tell you what's going to be underneath the next peel of the onion. Right. But there's a huge onion. Because I don't know if people are aware of this, but the black Moors have been here longer than the white colonials. Have you heard of that?
It's funny. It's funny you say that because look at today, I was talking to my nephew about it, and I was saying, I love my nephew, man, because he's very, he's just funny. I was saying, well, mijo, one lady told me, that I look like I'm from the Mediterranean. He said, that's dumb. I was like, mijo, of course I'm from the Mediterranean. He looked at me like, I said, come on, man. I said, our ancestors were from Africa, the ancestors. And he was like, I said, my grandmother has blue eyes and curly ass hair. I said, dude, you look at her, she kind of looks like she could pass for Jewish, And he's like, oh shit, deal. And I said, but I'm explaining to him. I said, mijo, where the fuck is Africa from Italy? And he was like, he couldn't put it together. I said, mijo, go look at a map. Oh shit, dude, it's across the water. I said, yes, dude, that's what I'm telling you. And sometimes we don't know geography. You grow up a good American, you don't know shit about geography. You don't know shit about history. You just know what the television tells you. And that's what I see, Ruben, really. A lot of people, they just watch too much TV, dude. Just watching way too much TV. I know you watch too much TV when you wear a red hat and you come to me and you fucking talk some stupid shit. And I said, man, you're watching too much TV, bro, because the real life is I'm about to kick your ass. Like, what are you going to do now? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, exactly, fool. Shut up, back up, and don't talk to me. And they watch TV and they think like Ruben, think about us, you, me. We fight the wars. We lift shit every day. Like we grow up violent, and we don't choose that. We don't live a life of non-violence. Fuck. So the moment some fool comes, supervisor or manager trying to tell you how shit is. Like, well, show me how it's done. And they can't do it. So Ruben, we're in this world, living in the world. They came and brought all this gaga to us, dude. All the shit you're talking about, fuck. They tell you to look over there and they steal your shit in your back pocket. And it's like we're the people that do the work. Again, too, is that we're raised by
We also have to be aware of laws that we can challenge. And it
right.
just takes a little bit of deeper research. Like I done the research. Like there's another. I'm gonna just like you drop books. I'm gonna drop people you should study.
Right. Yeah. And I have 3 books too.
These are very important people you should study, and one of them is Jordan Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell. Armando, can you pull up like maybe a short on Jordan Maxwell? And he is an individual that went into very deep research about how the bigger onion layer is, right? The maritime law, the amnesty law, the social security number, why you have, maybe put up Jordan Maxwell social security number, and he'll explain what the social security number is, if we can find it.
Yeah, but I think, Ruben, when you talk about an onion, I think it's really interesting, because if you really look at the formation of the experiment that we're living through, man, it's just like this isn't the first time they did this,
No, of course not. Of course not. Like he doesn't pull up Jordan Maxwell's explanation in
But they're just rerunning stuff, Ruben, and they don't know. It's kind of like they're selling us a pizza they didn't know how to make, so it tastes different than the original, But they're saying, "No, this is pizza." No, man, it's like, and like when the homie gets on, he says, "Oh, they're the original originators." They're not. What they are, the original thieves of fucking a lot of shit,
Right.
And they just take credit for it as if it's theirs, and it's that's not. It's not like that,
Follow what I'm going to tell you. On the back of the Social Security card will be numbers in red. On the front will be in blue or black, but on the back will be in red. The numbers on the back of a Social Security card in red designate your body. It is the serial number of your stock. And this is why if you're wealthy, you are preferred stock. If you're poor, you are common stock. But you are a stock on the stock market. Your body is bought and sold through the use of your birth certificate. This is why when you were born, you have to have a birth certificate. Therefore, your birth certificate is signed by your mother, and where your mother signed on the birth certificate, get it, you will see it does not say parent or mother, it says informant. You need to wake up and find out how this stuff really works.
What year did I'm sure you know this.
That was a great little recap of just trying to break down. Like, watch more.
I mean, Jordan Maxwell, LA Natives podcast. You want to gain footing in the reality of the truth. There's a reason why Donald Trump isn't in jail right now. He knows these laws. I'm sure he knows these understandings. He knows how the republic works. He knows how it works. So that's why he's not in jail.
This is why Hunter Biden ain't in jail
Exactly.
either.
They're going, well, I'm not even a citizen, because citizen is related to what Jordan Maxwell just explained. A birth certificate that has a red number that files your rest of your life work history. And for the rest of your life, you're going to give, how much is the taxation? 32% or fucking close to 40% with inflation. And not only do you get taxed from your work that you make money on, but you also get taxed when you go buy a coffee and when you go buy a meal and when you go do this and when you go do that, you're being taxed. So we need to get to an awareness of what we're agreeing to. We can't agree blindly and go, yeah, I'm a citizen. Yeah, I'm a college graduate. Yeah, question what that means. Where does it come from? What's the root of it? That's what I'm saying. And Jordan Maxwell is a must to study. We've been studying Jordan Maxwell for I started in 94. There's another book that I'm going to recommend, which is William Cooper. William Cooper wrote Behold the Pale Horse. If you haven't read that book yet and you're in 2024, wow. Because you can't find all that shit on YouTube, bro.
Right.
These people put their life on the line to throw us a Hail Mary pass to catch in 2024. Jordan Maxwell, William Cooper. Now, I'm not saying to go believe everything they read, but at least read them. Damn, if you don't know nothing about them, come on, bros. We're in this 2024 reality. 2023, they predict that no one will own anything and like it. You know what that sounds like? Slavery. You will own nothing and like it, right? Can you pull that up? There's it's 2030 agenda where I think Charles Schwab says, you know, in 2030, people will own nothing and like it.
Wow.
Right? Ownership is done. And then you put the other piece of the puzzle together and you go, well, why is State Farm pulling out of California? They're not going to insure anything. Well, you can't insure anything if you don't own anything.
You know, Geico already pulled out of California.
You see?
Right.
Why?
Bro, you know, honestly,
all the car insurance, right? Mostly the car insurance.
I pay $450 for my insurance, bro, in this one car.
Yes. Why? Because they want you to go to an Uber system. They want you to go to an Uber system. They want you to go. It's cheaper to be in an Uber than to own a fucking car. You're gonna pay $900 for insurance, and you're gonna pay $1,000 for a fucking payment. Oh, that's too much.
So yeah, if you own two cars, it's like $600 to $800 a month right now.
Insurance is a scam. That's a crazy scam.
Well, it just goes. They're pushing eerily so slowly to this agenda where you will own nothing and like it. Because you can't insure things you don't own. You have to own it to insure it. So if people can't buy a home, the housing market insurance is leaving, the car insurance is leaving. Why? Because they're going to raise the prices of these things so that it's unattainable and you have to use Uber. You have to use the Uber system. Why is it dangerous to use the Uber system? Because the Uber system can be told, well, you can't go past Pomona.
Right.
You know what? You're fucked up. You're under probation. You can't go past Pomona. As a matter of fact, you can't go past your fucking 2-mile block. You can go to the fucking the liquor store and you can go to school or go to the fucking work job that you work right there, but that's it. And you can't, and you're all, I gotta get an Uber.
No, that's crazy.
It's that. It's going there. It won't be there tomorrow. And it won't be there in 5 years. But that's what they're trying to convince us slowly but surely. This is the mode. It's not overnight. It's not next day you wake up and we're in fucking Nazi Germany.
They're trying to get us there.
Oh, they build Nazi Germany right in front of your face, right in front of your eyes as they close the door and say goodbye to you. That's how they build it.
They're saying that they're going to start taxing every gas-powered car a per mile rate.
Right. That's a carbon tax. It's a carbon tax.
I think the governor is trying to pass that shit.
Right. It's
Unless you have an
tax.
EV, then you're good.
Right. My dad always asks about that. What does the EV pay taxes? I know, Dad, but they're going to figure it out. They'll figure out a way to tax them.
But, I mean, and you look at the EV, but okay, time out.
Honestly, look.
Time out.
I own an EV, a Chevy Bolt. It's the best car I've ever owned in my life, to be honest with you.
Right, it's gasless? No gas.
It's gasless, and like the only thing I need to do is buy tires for it. Outside of that, there's no maintenance to the car.
And you love it, right?
Damn, Mondo, maybe we see a commercial.
Now let me give you a scenario. Right? And you work in downtown, so you get a ticket. Yeah. And you're like, fuck it, I'm not going to pay that ticket. I have to pay it next week. And then you get another ticket. And guess what? Now you can't fucking turn your car on. Yep. Why? Because your fucking shit's turned off from the computer.
Yep.
Wow.
Right? Or say this. Well, fuck it. I could turn it on and I could drive it. But then you go to the station to try to plug it in to get charged. Guess what? You can't fucking do it. Yep. You got to think about this stuff, bro. Okay, time out. They're not that brilliant. Look at their fucking stations. They're a piece of shit. Let's be honest. Like looking at a strip mall in Compton with fucking a couple like
there is no EV station that accepts cash. It's all digital.
Right. That and they're in shitty places. Yep. They're in the parking lots at CVS and it just looks all disorganized and just stupid. It just looks dumb. Like it's just like a gas station was made and built, and oh shit, that's a gas station. You know, you could clean your windows, you could check your air and the tires. These EV stations are just like fucking randomly. They look like those scooters that are just fucking randomly thrown all over Santa Monica.
It's funny.
EV stations, you know, they're not
You're
that brilliant.
absolutely right.
They're not that
And some
brilliant.
of them are in very dangerous areas.
Yeah. Why? Because they're cheaper to go, hey, let's plug into the power grid right here and we pay these guys fucking $100 a month and we're there. But they're not thinking of the product. They're lazy. They're not that brilliant. They're not. Like Daniel says, they're full of caca.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean?
For now, they're in the moment.
Their violent attitude is they're not brilliant. I mean, I seen a clip of Bill Gates going, "We don't plant trees. We don't plant trees. Who wants to plant trees?" And the fucking interview guy's going, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" Right? And he's going, "Are we a part of the smart people or the dumb people?" Right? Like if planting trees was dumb, the interview guy his jaw was dropped, going, "This is a guy that we say is intelligent, right? He has the master plan. He's gonna sit up there and do a TED talk about how to reduce 10% of the world population, and we believe him? And we believe him?
No, thank you.
With the math system that says 1 times 1 is 1. Not like ours. Ours goes up to what? 20. And then the next row multiplies by 20. And then the next row multiplies by 20. So now you're into astronomical numbers based on truth. The mathematical system that we run in now is not based on truth. I'll tell you one big sign that it's not based on truth. All of our math and our science, and I'll say it, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's not based on truth because you did not invent the zero. So how the fuck is it in your math? How is it in your math books? How is it in your shit? Because the last time I checked, fucking Roman numerals were impossible to fucking read. Because they end. They don't believe in a zero. They don't believe in the completion of a whole. They don't believe in the end of a cycle so that we can enter another one. You can't convince me no more. And they cannot convince Las Daslan. They cannot convince us. Anybody in this tribe cannot be convinced with their weak-ass math.
Yeah.
Because our math stands on the celestial bodies of the universe. And Daniel can attest to that stuff.
Yeah, well, there it is. It's nature. You know, it's what we live in. We live in math, you know, but again, too, like you said, their math is it's abstract, Ruben, is what it is. It's, you know, it's that math that you do in your head, that it's in your head, you know, it's not always what you see, you know, and that's what confuses you, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's in your head and it's not always out where you live, you know, it's not, you know, because it's, what you have in your head. It's kind of like Descartes. Descartes was a European philosopher that thought, you know, I think, therefore I am. But, you know, sometimes we create things that don't even exist, you know? And so I think there's our theory and then there's our practice. And our practice is nature, you know, just the way life and death are those dualities that are constantly, you know, reminding us of truth, you know?
Right. The zero is important.
Well, without it, you can't count big numbers, you know?
It's important, bro. It's like, but you can't just shove it in going, oh, damn, this is a nice invention. Let me fucking shove it into my system now. Right?
Yeah. The thing is, it's a concept, Ruben. And if you don't count, like if you begin to count, you're going to need it. If you don't know how to count, you don't need it. You know? Okay, so if you don't know how, that's a perfect statement. And it kind of solidifies my point. If you don't know how to count, you don't need it. So now let's look at Roman numerals. Right? Yeah.
They don't know how to fucking count. So why are they in charge? I think that's what BRICS is doing. I think that's what China, Brazil, Europe, China, Brazil, Africa, like South Africa just recently, Armando, I think you could pull this up, is that South Africa told the US and France to get out of their system, right? Like, I don't know that's a big fucking move, bro.
There's a lot of things going on in the world.
All the minerals, all the cell phones that come to the United States. So start thinking of your fucking iPhone to be $3,000 or $5,000. right?
But Ruben, that's kind of leads us back to what I was saying. The Mexican president. There's a woman that our neighbor to the south, and like the United States, man, has a real just like us. You go to Mexico and you get all kinds of stuff super cheap. And you know what? That time's going to end. And it's interesting the way people in this country talk about just hating the country to the south, and it's just strange to me because man, that country to the south has helped us and benefit. It's a very well, it's a love-hate relationship that we have with them, but it's a place that again too, their leadership, they just won by a landslide, and they won with a woman. And you know, here's the thing too, and I just
I
don't
have
think
a problem with her though, dude.
that's okay, Ruben. But I'm saying
I
grasp
don't like
this.
that she's Jewish.
Well, okay, but grasp this though, Ruben. Grasp this concept.
I honestly thought that was the most bizarre thing ever.
I didn't like full on. Like,
Hey, but I was just
okay,
feeling
so
telling you.
now we go. Okay, she's a president of Mexico, right? And then we
I
go.
thought she was half Jewish.
I don't know, man, but I thought her last name is completely fully
Hey, but
Jewish.
bro, I'm just telling you, my grandmother may have been Jewish, dude. So might be talking to a guy that's Jewish. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, that's the way that is.
Damn,
Like,
Daniel, now I have to.
I'm just telling you,
I
you can
just-
be
no,
a
wait, time
just so
out.
you
I
understand,
know
Ruben,
this
just
is
so you
not
understand, you
about.
can
I
be an
do not.
ethnicity and be Jewish.
The only reason I have a disagreement with that particular statement I made, I do not. I love everyone. Everyone who's beautiful and does not disrespect or exploit the land, does not hurt or damage the water, does not pollute the air, right? And has a connection with the fire, which is their spirit and soul. We are brothers because I don't see color or race. What I see is intentions. What I see is how the bricks are being moved and the positioning of certain things. It's not a coincidence. I'll leave it at that. I'm not even going to say that they're of a certain thing. Because when you look at the U.S. side, right, who is running the show there, Daniel?
Where is that?
In the U.S. side, in the senators, they're all of the same understanding. Right? It's not coincidence. It's not coincidence that we're sending massive amounts of money to a region while homelessness, drug addiction, ownership of things is disintegrating in the U.S.
For sure. But Ruben, I would say, look at the chat. The chat right now has perfect responses, man. I think it's
read them. What are they?
Well, they were saying
I
that
can't read them because I don't have my glasses.
Okay, it says, well, someone says, hey, scratching my head. Do you think Jewish is based off curly hair and looks? Wow. Okay, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about when people look at people and they judge them. They judge, if you look at that culture, a lot of people with the long dreads, they have the long curly hair. It's just, that's part of their culture. They look that way. You know what I mean? I know that people say, oh, that person looks so, but I know that Jewish is how do you say, it's a religion. And then Israel is a country. And so, man, it can be complicated, but I understand, and like my nephew was saying that, but if you're in Mexico and you're German and you're in Mexico, they say, I might be ethnically German, but I'm Mexican. And it's like, wow, okay, I understand that. It's the same way people here, well, they don't do it here. They don't say, well, I'm German, but I'm American. They can't. In the United States, it's a different dichotomy that's going on here. But in other countries, people can be a different ethnicity and be the country that they live in. And so
there's a different dichotomy because
look, Zero, Kanye, he wasn't necessarily going after all Jews, but he made it clear every entity that was attacking him and took everything away from him, coincidentally, the board, ownership, or whoever the fuck was in charge, they were all what?
Right.
Jewish people.
Right. This is not a
Adidas.
racist. This is not anti-Semitic to say this. This is not
all the music entertainment owners and distributions and with the label execs.
Right. This is not anti-Semitic to say that.
All the lawyers that were involved.
Right. And the difference of what we're saying is that we're opposed to oppression. We're opposed to colonization. Right? We could say that on this land because I'm of indigenous descent. Daniel's indigenous descent. Armando's indigenous descent. When Sky's here is a part of indigenous descent. We can say that because colonialism has affected us. It did not destroy us. It affected us. It affected us, right? So now we're living on this side of the globe going, oh, colonialism is a thing of the past. We don't really get affected by that no more, right? And then we go across the ocean and we go to that region of Tonantzin and we see colonialism once again. We have, we have a right to be here. I'm talking about regular citizens with AKs fucking pushing people out of their fucking, taking them out of their house they've been living in for forever.
Right.
That's colonialism. I'm not trying to be like, oh, yeah, it's because of this religion and this color of yarmulke and the way you wear your hair. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm saying it's colonialism when it comes from the perspective of an indigenous individual. And indigenous does not mean Native American. Indigenous means people of the land, people of the earth, people who see humans, who see another me.
Right.
In Lakesh, we see another me. How are we going to learn from each other? How are we going to be so profound? How are we going to have the mathematics that we had if we're not looking at another me?
Right. Well, you know, too, it's interesting, Ruben. I think at this point, and a friend of mine said, actually, my homie, a wax guy, you know, and he's just, man. But I was saying, you know, how come someone hasn't put a bullet in this guy's head? He's just such gaga. And then my homie said it fucking profound. He said, Daniel, he said, he's on the side of the killers. Who's gonna? And I said, fuck, dude, you're right. Oh my God, they're the killers, Ruben. We're not the killers. And it's like, oh shit, it's so true. They came, they're all the killers. They come and they just kill you. We don't do that. So there's nobody that's gonna take them out. It's like, oh shit.
Right.
And it just was a profound. I was like, damn, dude, that makes sense. You know, it's just like I said, they got the gun, so the gun isn't gonna win. We're gonna win, and they're the ones with the gun. It's just gonna take our creativeness, you know, we're gonna pull out of their system, you know, and we're gonna find our way to not fund, you know, the war. You know, we'll figure it out, you know, but we gotta do it.
Push through. I got a new word for 2024. The red media. That is the red media. If you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs. I guarantee you they're promoting black serial killing.
Absolutely.
Not just one. They're promoting black. The red media is making money off of blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic. The red media is making money off of that. And God sees it. But I understand, and I'm not judging because the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And it is our time now. Blacks are coming.
If you put a fox,
There you
if you catch a fox in a thing, he start trying to dig, and then he grabs a branch and he's pulling, and he's gonna get creative until he gets out, or he dies trying. Right? That's how creative energy. That's what I felt with that interview. Like, how could I be creative? I'm a fucking smart motherfucker. Okay. Everything in red is the red media. You look at their names and they're all the same names, so, you know? Clever.
And then you know, you follow the money,
Right.
and they're all Jewish people.
It's clever. It's a clever way of saying, and that's our job as artists. Our job as artists.
But that's not attacking all Jewish people, right?
No.
But here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. I
don't
think it's
think so.
troublesome. Our facts, like, come on, think about it. Truth.
Wait.
Facts,
One second. 1 second, Daniel. I'm so sorry to cut you off. I don't mean to do that. But what was Kanye saying? He says, look up Apple Music, look at the top 10 songs, and if we play them back to back, you'll hear them say, I'm going to kill this person. I'm going to kill that person. I got that person. I did that person. Or I'm going to take your wife. I'm going to take your girlfriend. I'm going to take her, blah, blah, blah. He's saying that they're promoting music that's creating our environments chaos. It creates chaos in our environments because the 15-year-old kid is listening to that in his house or streaming it or has it on his phone, and all of a sudden he gets brave enough to want to shoot someone, and now boom, he's a part of the prison industrial complex, and now he's a slave for at least 20 to
He gets
50.
brave enough to go grab on a girl, slap her butt, and just risk it all.
Right. Or sleeps with his best
Misogynistic at his
friend.
prime.
Or sleeps with
Didn't he
his
say
best friend's
misogynistic
girl.
and he's doing that
Imagine
too?
sleeping with your best friend's girl. What are your feelings going to be like after that?
But
What are you going to be like? Oh, fuck. Because I listened to this song and I stole his girl and fuck. Look, and I feel like shit. We don't look at things like that. That's what we're saying when we say the red media.
I had her buy her the Gucci purse. Right?
Yeah. It's time to be critical.
Bro, you know, at
about
one
what-
point, Kanye was selling all his merchandise for $20. Shoes, hats, shirts, anything you wanted, it was all just $20, bro.
So
Killing the game.
cool, smart dude. I think he's really smart. I think
Like, I want to make it affordable for everyone.
I'm not in agreement with everything anyone says because I have my own perspective.
But that was profound though. That clip of him pulling out the phone with all the red.
yeah, what I liked about that clip was that it was a creative way of pointing out the truth, right? Because the people that are in red can't go, I don't work there. That's not me, right? It's like the head of Apple who chooses okay, let's say for instance.
Are there kids listening to hip hop and that kind of music, bro?
Right. But there's somebody there. What Kanye is pointing out is there somebody there going, okay, that song's okay. That song's okay. Because if you say if you sing a song, and this is extreme, and I don't mean this by doing it, go do it, or I advocate doing this, but if they say, hey, let's kill the president. Somebody on Apple will say, what the fuck is this song about? I don't give a fuck how popular it is. You can't say that on Apple. But you could say that about killing an African can kill an African. You know what I mean? Like a black person kill a black person? And that's okay? Right? Come on, dude. We're being manipulated on such a level, and that's why I don't like the fact that the Mexican president has alliance or I don't know how to say this, man. I don't want to seem like I'm ungrateful that a woman took leadership in Mexico because we should always be, and you know what? I'm not always right. I might be wrong on this motherfucker. It just doesn't feel right. And I have a right to say that. It just doesn't feel right. How come all the U.S. Senate is ran by them and now the Mexico? It's just weird. Everywhere you turn, it's that. And these people are willing to bomb people, children, after the world is telling them to stop. Who's next? Mexico? U.S.? We got to be at that level. I don't know. But you like her, right, Daniel?
Fuck yeah. Bro, they're just look. I'm gonna get just my educated view, man. I've been going to Mexico all my life. Fucking the president that's in there now, he's the first fucking president that's gonna live in Mexico when he leaves the fucking office. Do you understand that?
Right.
Who in the president before him is still in Mexico? Think about that. Think about that shit. And to me, I've been going to Mexico all my life. Mexico is so corrupt and fucked up, and man, it's been getting good. That guy AMLO's been fucking screwed so long, and AMLO's smart. He knows when the U.S. is eating shit. He loves Trump. AMLO loves Trump. You think about that. He loves Trump. Because fuck, if Trump's there, then Mexico could do whatever the fuck they want, man. Because Trump is the end of this experiment. Y'all don't know that. He's the end. And all the stuff you're talking about, Ruben, think about it. If a year from now, I'm just telling you that. You don't even, I don't know. I laugh because you know what? She won in a landslide. Do you know what that means, Ruben? Do you know what a landslide means? That when the
Yeah, majority.
yeah, but do you know what that means though?
I wouldn't. You know what? You know
If
what?
you don't, I appreciate it because it's
Oh,
just
wait a minute. Like, okay, this is why I have a problem with this woman taking power, right? And yeah, I have my own personal bias about what's happening in the world and what the philosophies are when it comes to Zionism, right? I'm talking about Zionism, not talking about a religious sect or a person or race.
Obviously, she's part of the elite.
I mean,
It's not a conspiracy,
you can't
right?
sit on those fucking seats and not be a part of it,
but she's an environmentalist. She's also an intellectual, you know.
right? I agree.
And
I
above all,
get it.
she's a real
Okay,
woman. She's
but I
not a
know
woman
one thing.
trying to
I
be
know
a
one
man.
thing. I
Is
know,
she worth over like
And I'm only and I'm saying
Zero?
this
Is she worth over 50 million? Because if she is, then man, that's a lot of money, bro.
There you go.
She's worth way more than that, homie. Come on, this is
There you go.
Mexico.
You see.
You know,
That's that. But okay, but tell me that Comandante Ramona didn't. A female Zapatista ran for president too, and she didn't get elected.
I didn't even know about that. You got
Yeah,
me,
I heard
brother.
there was. I mean,
Information I
I
don't
may be
know.
wrong. I may be wrong, but I know that there was some Zapatistas, even if it was coming from an indigenous, like Benito Juarez style. I would rather have that instead of a woman. Like this almost seems like, oh wow, like Hillary Clinton became the first woman president of the United States, and what a
Yeah,
woman, what a woman,
but
and what a
it's not
woman, and
the
what a
same.
woman, and what a woman. No one's looking at her fucking worth.
But it's not the
Let's
same at
run,
all
run it,
because
run it, run. Let's run it. Let's run
okay,
it.
let me just ask if I could just, make
Sure.
some clear thoughts here without being interrupted. Is that AMLO? Okay, that guy, he's been, people love him. People love that Mexican president. And why? Because he's the first president that just reflected American policy. He does what America does to Mexico. And so, I like him because, man, it's about time that, because how many times do, people hate countries? Like, what country do y'all hate? I don't hate countries. I don't. But you've heard verbally, even on here, people talk mad shit about Mexico. And I just think, okay, man, it's just like, that's straight colonization. That you're colonized if you do that. Because, like, how could you hate a country where you get labor for, like, there's people there. That's me. My family lives there. The border split me and the land. So I don't go there with that. I know that she was voted in a landslide. And I know y'all don't know what that means, but the world is scared because when so many Mexicanos get together and say, you know what, we're behind this. So they're motivated. They're, as much as the rest of the world talks, Mexico, they're just loking up. They're doing exercises and they're fucking eating tacos. And, the military is starting to expand its national, they believe that the military is the way they're going to clean out the cartels. And so, we're going to wait and see what happens, and it's just, we just got to wait and see what happens. And I just think, Ruben, I was talking about earlier today, we were saying in my life, I've learned a great deal from learning when to shut the fuck up and when to speak up. And I think it's just, like there's times when you just got to shut up and let it go. And there's other times when you got to speak up. And I mean, I was saying I should have spoke up when my niece and nephews are being yelled at like fucking fucked up, and I just chose to be quiet because I respected, okay, there's this parent. Well, yeah, fuck that. Now I'm dealing with these kids and they're all fucked up. And so, it's learning to know, not to fight this battle, to let this go, And so I just think personally, a woman knows that. She does it better than a man does. And I mean, I grew up, my dad loved him, man, but my mother was the shit. You know what I mean? And so I live in that world. And that's just me. That's my bias. But I just know any country, I don't care where you are in the world, by a landslide, people get scared. And especially because Mexico's been a really, how would you say, prostituted by the planet, by the world. And so you know what? It's going to end. And it should end because Mexico is some of the most beautiful land, some of the most natural, like occurring places. Like the whole Mexico occurs in the Rocky Mountains. Like the Rocky Mountains extend from the north all the way down to the south. I was telling my nephew that like these are orographic precipitation, man. This is the most sacred land you can have on the planet, where an ocean comes up to a mountain. And these people love, like the pride that people have in Mexico is amazing. Like I love it. My nephew says, Deal, you could be German there, but you're Mexican. And they have such great pride in who they are and where they're about. Like, man, could you say that about the US? The US says, nah, we'll kill the rest of you, but we love our country. Like, man, that's some weird ass shit. I mean, I remember a movie they said, fuck it, God bless America and nowhere else. That's the fucking mindset of the whale, and Mexico ain't like that. world shit goes off, Mexico sends doctors, they send resources, you know? And so I'm proud of my dad and my culture where I come from. And it's just, fuck, those are the facts. That's where I studied, learned about my culture. 5,000 years our people have been here. You can call it different shit, but we're the same shit. It was here thousands of years ago. And this is just a speed bump in our experience here on Turtle Island, you
I
know?
completely agree. I'm still waiting for why you like the girl.
But bro, I love girls. I've always told you that, man. I was like, I'm
Oh,
a
the
versatile
president,
girl, you know?
woman, president. Like, why? Like, there was
Because a woman's a woman, man. I'd rather
just
hang out
because
with a
it's a
woman
woman,
than a
but
dude.
we had Margaret Thatcher, and she fucking went to Iraq
Oh my
and
God. Could you look at them?
obliterated.
Are you really
But
comparing them?
she's a woman. But she's a woman. She's
But
a
bro,
woman.
it's like, look at you and I are men and we're not the same, brother. I just flat out. Okay. And many men are men, but they're not the same. So I just think, I just know that she's under AMLO. That's her protege. And so, to me, I like AMLO.
Mhm.
So, it's just something that she's following in his footsteps. And if you don't know this, but she's an environmentalist. Okay. And so, man, to
Mhm.
finally have an environmentalist at the helm of one of the most resourceful and really powerful countries of the world, people don't want to grasp that, but it is. The rest of the world loves Mexico. US is the only country that hates Mexico. And I'll say it again. You talk England loves Mexico. Germany loves it. Germany had an agreement with Mexico that if they won the war, they would give fucking the Southwest back to Mexico. You know that, right?
Mm. No, I didn't know that. But that's
People love
like,
Mexico,
but
you know?
what I'm
It's
trying to
just
say is
people don't love it when they're trying to exploit it, you know? Think about that. When you're trying to
that
exploit something, talk about the violence and all this shit, they just paint such a fucking ugly picture of that country. When have you ever heard a good report out of Mexico about anything that's there? This country does not like it.
there
This
there
country
was
built a whole propaganda machine against hating Mexico. Fuck. In third
well,
grade, I
they
was
had
fucked
to.
up because I was
I
Mexican.
believe they had to because this was once Mexico. This was once Mexico, so you
It
can't
still
have a
is,
fucking
Ruben. How could it not be? Like,
exactly. But
I'm saying
but
these
my
people
point
do
is like the people live here. The
brother, the
people are
land
still
didn't
here.
change. Nothing, the land didn't change. All it changed was
Agreed.
these greedy, angry, scared immigrants came and
Agreed.
taught us lies. They said that we landed in America because it's Amerigo Vespucci, and that was bullshit. It's from America,
I
the Ameru. Like this
I
is the land of the feathered serpent. They taught
like
so much bullshit to us.
for me, if this woman, like, okay, she's an environmentalist, but environmentalists are tied with climate change people.
Well, bro, the
Right.
planet's heating up, and
I
shit.
mean, but we already proved that the cycles of our ancestors predicted
Do you
that.
mean like the climate change people that are like just profiteering off the term and the name?
Well,
and
the people.
creating,
Okay, so
creating boards and
the
nonprofits are just making millions.
well, what I'm saying about climate change is the carbon tax that you just said about gasoline cars,
Mhm.
right? That's a
Right,
carbon
right,
tax that comes
right.
from an environmental. I don't know how to call this, but like these
It comes from an environmentalist.
environmentalists, exactly. You go, Armando, you're fucking right on, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Someone with a fucking degree.
exactly.
Environmentalist.
So there's
I
already
love it.
two
I love it,
agendas.
brother.
There's
This
two
is so good.
agendas that I see that come with her resume that makes me feel concerned about who's in power in a place where their resource is their knowledge of plants, medicines, astrology, and a mathematical system that has invented computers
Right.
with the binary codes. All of that comes from us.
Right, right. But the thing is, Ruben, us is greater than one country, brother. You know what I mean? Us is like we're a whole movement of like an affiliated tribe that's living in harmony here with nature. It's kind of we're like the grass. We're like the palm trees, man. You know what I'm saying? We just naturally grow and we're from here. And so you could try to not make us grow, but you can't help it. You can't stop the sun, we're a byproduct of the sun. Like our whole creation story is that we're from the sun. Okay? And like think about it, we're creation. Our story is not to kill or to take shit. It's to create things. And so that we're here, think about it. Everything on this continent happened without the influence of the rest of the world. And so our place is matriarchal, it's not patriarchal. It's from the woman that we come
Right.
from. And so it's like
Right.
to have
So it is a
somebody
good sign that a woman. Go on. I'm sorry. Hello? Did he freeze?
yeah.
Okay.
keep going, keep
No, I
going.
don't know if you're frozen. Or you stopped.
Well,
Okay,
I don't
sorry.
know.
I'm serious.
Maybe the cartels. I don't know. Will the cartels be more brazen because they might want to punk this chick? You know what I'm saying? I don't
You're
know,
funny.
bro.
I
I
mean,
don't think so. I think the cartels are going to become part of the national, like, you know what I'm saying? He even calls them differently. He calls them hardworking Mexicanos. He doesn't call them cartels,
mm,
because they're putting out a product that America is hungry for.
mm.
And I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, he just frames it in a different narrative. And if you start to think about it, it's like, man, it's kind of true, because it's like, Mexico does things that the US does. And then when Mexico does it, the US, oh, I
Look,
can't believe they do it. It's
this
like,
is
man,
this is the one thing about Mexico that I respect, and maybe this is where this current president,
yeah.
this exiting president, really kind of, um, um, I don't know if he was in power at the time, but this was a cool move. Do you remember Evo Morales?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Evo Morales was
The Bolivian president, right?
he was a Bolivian president that got cooed out of office. You know, did you know
But
that?
he was too hardcore, bro. He was way too hardcore. He
They pulled
betrayed
a coup on
everybody.
him. He had to exile Bolivia, and where did he go? Mexico,
Mexico?
right? Mexico. Why? Why did they have to have? He was doing some crazy radical stuff. Obviously, he was still president, and it was already been like what 12 years, so he was getting into long terms like that.
Right.
But he also became the security chief at the UN. When he became the security chief at the UN, he started calling out the United States for
Yeah.
all their bullshit.
Well, he's
Right
a good
after
power.
that, he got cooed out of Bolivia into Mexico, and now this president comes into play.
So put that together, brother. Think about
Yeah,
that. And
that's
the
what
whole,
like. I'm putting all these pieces together.
well,
I'm not
just
saying that they're true. These are theories. These are things that I like to see the big picture, but you can't fool me
no, of course not,
into
Ruben. But
thinking
it's
that this individual who is an environmentalist, that's already one red flag. Environmentalist is a red flag because you believe in global warming, you believe in carbon tax, you believe in smart cities, you believe in EV cars that can be controlled, and you believe in digital currency.
But Ruben, I think a bigger red flag is an American degree in a Mexican president, and so that's not happening here. Before AMLO, they were all Harvard, Yale, basically American puppets, man. And so
And Is
I
she
might.
is she from Mexico? Did she get her degree in
She
Mexico?
did study. No, she studied in the United States, so she's part of what could possibly be, a puppet. But
She studied in the United States. That tells you everything, bro.
well, I'm just saying, brother. I'm
I
just
know. I'm
telling you.
sorry, man.
I
Like I
know you
love
don't
you,
have to be
bro.
sorry, because I tell you what, I'm going to sit by what I said, because I go to Mexico. I've been, I've been to Mexico all my life.
Absolutely, I agree. I agree. I
I
want to
hope
be a
so,
part of
because
Mexican. I
we're
want to
going to
be
wait
part
this
of
one out.
Mexico too. I want to be a part of Mexico too. But
No, I am a part
and
of Mexico. I'm not, I'm not
here's the beauty about
program.
Mexico. Here's the beauty about Mexico, and this is what my experience of Mexico has been, because I had a unique experience with Mexico because I went as a recording artist, and I went with a high level recording artist that took me to places that I couldn't see. But this particular recording artist, like, was in there with the people. Like, he's of the people. Like, this dude is not, he's a major, like, just picture like John Lennon walking around the city. Like, if nothing's, I was like, oh,
Right.
let's go to
Right.
Teotihuacan together. It's like, because he taught me how to be humble and understand your environment and who your audience is. You know what I mean? And it's very important that we kind of cultivate that stuff. It's important. Anyways, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother, but you're describing the Mexican president. You're not really sounding real humble, but it's okay. You know what I mean? This is, because I think that you've got to sit back and, like I said, just let this thing play out, because the United States has been feeding us all kinds of caca about this shit, dude. And some people are just eating it up like a fucking cheeseburger. And myself, I don't trust the gringo. I don't
What did you
trust
say
the
about me?
at all.
Humble? What about me being
No,
humble?
I'm saying, but really think about it, because you're really being critical of this poor lady. She just got in, bro. You know what I mean? And so let's give her a chance. And I agree. I everything you guys said, I
Like
agree with.
like I said, I want to go, okay, this is a woman, but there's two very, and there's no way I'm not going to hold back on those things. I
Of course
know
not.
about those things.
But think of Eva Morales, like you were
If you're
saying.
putting, if you're putting it, Armando just said, you just pulled up a law that said that they're going to get carbon taxed for every mile you drive with a gas vehicle. That's a part of the agenda. We cannot be like, going. We can't be looking at the news class.
That's a very easy way to convince you to get an EV car, right?
Well, but hold on, but
that,
also too.
or oh fuck that, I can't.
Wait a second. Do you know what's going on with China and Mexico and EVs?
No,
if you don't, it's okay. I'm just saying, do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay, because there's a whole EV that the U.S. doesn't want to let in because they're so cheap. Because that's what tariffs are about. They say, well, you can't bring it to the American market. We're going to put a tariff on you. So that
any EV, in my opinion, any EV is a part of the big agenda to control, like people don't realize that when you have your phone, when we switch over to this new agenda where it's a digital currency, right? Like this is the way it's being explained. I'm not making this up. Like let's say, for instance, you're 300 pounds and AI does an analysis of of how much weight you are, and you go and try to buy a pizza, and the digital currency is going, nope, you're overweight. You can't buy that pizza. You could buy a salad. You can use your digital currency, so hit that, but don't hit the pizza. Don't hit the burger. Don't hit the fries. This is, it sounds funny, but like.
No, but it's funny. They don't eat the pizza.
This is not a conspiracy theory. Like this is not. It's just a reality to the big picture. Now, I'm not saying that this is happening overnight, right? This is not happening overnight. This is going to take a long time, and it's going to take a lot of convincing people that EV stations are efficient. And like, think about it. They're going, okay, even if the fucking EV is a fucking $2,000 EV, how long does it take to charge your car, Armando, at an EV station?
For a full charge, about an hour and 15 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes. Think about that, guys. Think about that. How perfect is their system? It's so shitty.
Okay, now let's add.
How long does it take you to fill your gas tank?
15 minutes? I don't know.
Less. 3 minutes.
So let's think about this.
Think about that. How far can you go in a gas tank? You could go 300 miles. How far can you go in your EV?
Well, do you know they discovered
215.
That's going to change because they discovered a lot of, what's it called? What are the batteries made out of? Lithium. So they discovered lithium on the border, and so there's a huge amount of lithium, and so now Mexico is tight with China, and so they got a program where they're going to just bring a shitload of EVs into Mexico, and China does that. China has agreements with countries where they come in and they bring in resources, and then if the country can't pay them back, they just take over the land. It's kind of a crazy thing, but it's what China's doing in the world right now, and so that's why I think, to me, I understand it, because like the EV market's going to take a hit once Mexico has this market, because Mexico is the biggest market for the U.S. You know that, right? That Mexico consumes the most American products, correct?
Mexico consumes the most American products.
Yeah, so they're our largest trading partner.
But they like Nikes. Like, that's all we have here.
I'm just saying, it's just like funny to me how the gringo hates Mexico until he's buying all their shit.
Well, I mean, the gringo hates
they love
everyone.
their Chevys and their Fords.
Thank you, brother. And it goes beyond that.
Everyone.
Daniel, when I go to Mexico, bro, all I see is Silverados and fucking Fords, bro.
Hello? Come on, bro. And the thing is, man, buying. But here's the thing. This is what I was talking about. So this American company in Mexico.
I want to repeat this. Like, whenever I go to Mexico, all I see are Fords, Silverados, Chevy S10s. It's like
expensive, Mondo.
They're obsessed with the truck culture, the American truck culture,
and they're expensive, dude. They're the fucking most expensive shit you can buy. Over there, it's a symbol of prestige. You know what I mean? Like they're making a lot of money.
It's like their BMW.
Yes, and so. It's something that's very, and you know what, man, I just fucking lost my train of thought. So fuck.
No more daddy.
But here's the thing: is that what I'm saying is that their economy there is happening without us, and the U.S. is like, come on.
And I've actually heard that their economy is growing.
Hello,
more people are moving into Mexico.
Yes, and it's safe, Mondo. It's safe. It's always been safe, and it's safer now than it's been before. And so, You know, again, I myself, I love Mexico, man, and I
Dude,
love.
don't do what I did when I went to Ensenada and I fucking just started asking random people, yo, where can I get weed, dog?
Oh
Like,
my God, brother! I'm glad you're still here.
okay, but Daniel, you have to admit, when you put yourself in that
Yes.
situation, then it's definitely not safe,
I
right?
agree. Okay, but bro, I agree.
Like it's no, honestly, Daniel, I want to be real with you, bro. It's
Okay.
like 10 times worse over there than over here, bro. But if you put yourself in that situation,
Well, okay, but here's the thing, Mondo. I'm there, and I get a knock on the door. Bang, 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 bang. Hey, mota. I'm like, what the fuck? A guy opens up, he gets a big old bag of mota. I'm like, how much? $4. Okay, fucking, yeah. Shut the door, takes it off. So, bro, I know what you're saying, but then understand there's Daniel's Mexico and Mondo's Mexico.
yeah, like I'm in the party scene.
No, but dude,
Everyone's
you
living
see?
the fast life.
No,
Right?
of course. Wait, hold on. I've been in Mexico and McDonald's. I don't have
Revolucion in
roommates.
Tijuana, you
No,
know?
no,
What's a
no.
crazy story? Give me a crazy story, Armando.
Yeah, no.
Revolucion.
Yeah, dog. And Revolucion, bro, we were all fucked up,
Yeah.
drunk out of our minds,
Yeah.
bro. We walk out of the club and you see some dude go up to us
Oh shit.
and he's like, yo, hey, he told us, do you guys know where your car's at?
Huh?
And we all looked at each other. We're like, oh, look, we don't know where the fuck our car's at.
Oh, shit.
He reminded us what we didn't know already. It was weird. I guess people forget where they park their cars.
Oh fuck.
When you get so drunk,
Right.
and then all you think about is like, yo, we need to get to our car.
Right.
So then dude was like, yo, just give me $100
Oh.
and tell me what you guys remember.
Oh my God.
Where you guys parked, and I could probably figure out where your car's at.
Oh shit.
Right.
And we all looked at each other. We're like, dude, give him the $100. We don't know where the fuck our car is at. But then we kind of described to him what we, remember what we saw. And I guess he added it all together. And then he walked us to our car.
Wow, dude, that's
There's professional car finders over there
Wow.
Nice.
that extort people that are coming from the US, dude.
$100. Jesus.
Hey, but I've had that happen.
Mondo's
We came
class.
out of the club. and
Hey,
my
but it was worth
fucking-
it, right, Daniel? It was worth it
Oh,
because
no, of course. But
I'm
bro,
sure he had
I've
a
had
good time.
I've
I'm
had
sure
that
he had a good
experience.
but he was just some shady ass dude, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just some shady crackhead.
Right.
But made a living off of all those people that every night that shit happens. You know, they figure it out. But here's the
Like
thing.
half of us thought he was gonna rob us and kill
No.
us and take our car.
Of course he did. I mean, same thing. When I take widows to Mexico, they're like, "Oh, they're gonna kidnap me." I'm like, "All right, dude, just shut up already, man." Like, fuck, But again, it's just that sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. But I mean, I was there with the white boy homie. We went after the club and we were on the beach, and he pulls out a joint. So I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Next thing you know, there's a cop. And they're like, "Fuck." And it's just like, you can't do stupid shit like that. Luckily enough, I knew to not have no money in my fucking wallet. I said, all right, man, take all I have. Like, oh, look, I have nothing. You fuck. And then he emptied out his shit, took all his money. And I was like, this is some shit you just know not to take a bunch of cash,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
fuck,
look. I'm gonna say something to you about this president here. I'm gonna be down with her if she legalizes cannabis in Mexico. Because if she
brother.
does, it's
I think that-
they grow good weed over there, bro. It's gonna be bomb.
I think it's already legal, Ruben.
No way. Like super legal, like it is over here.
Yes.
No way. Shut
It
the
is.
fuck up. Where?
Last year.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
They passed it? No
Yeah.
way.
Fucking Ruben, you're killing me, brother. I love you.
No.
I love you. You're just like,
My dream has come true.
bro, but that's good. See, when you make a dream like that comes true, like, oh, good shit.
That's
you know?
amazing. No,
Hey, but
no,
hold
no.
on. Somebody from the chat, somebody in the chat was asking me. That's what they got me back on the point. Was that there was an American company that they had a disaster, like an environmental disaster in Mexico, and so the Mexican president said they were going to buy the land, and then the American company said they were bothered that the offer was not generous.
Mm.
And so, you know how many times in the United States they call it public domain, and they give you
Eminent domain.
eminent domain. I'm sorry, thank you, eminent domain, and they give you public value for your, So how many times have you heard another country talk about, complaining about that? that the U.S. can't do that. Can't do public domain. No,
No,
because you're
this
getting
is
this shit about Mexico, saying Mexico can't ask for a public domain. If you're an American company, you have to make it a generous offer, of course. Like that's weird.
well, it's I mean, but for a long time, not only Mexico, but all the countries, what we call third world countries, right, get treated that way. And that's the big move in Africa, excuse me, while they ask the colonial powers to leave.
But Ruben, do you know what that means
It's
when they go
changing.
third world? That means that they pay a higher rate in the loan. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
they're not as
They have
stable.
bad
They're not as
credit,
stable.
kind of.
Yes, exactly, brother. That's what it is. Saying, "Oh, they can't pay us back." Like, get the fuck out of here. Just think of how that movida is, man. And it's just
Right.
like, because the thing is, Ruben, Mexico's not even a third world country. They just called it that.
Hey, but honestly, it's not surprising that recently in the last few years, as I'm getting older, I don't know why. It just sometimes I think, fuck, should I just buy a pad in Mexico?
Hello.
It's good. Wouldn't be a
And
bad idea.
just get the fuck out of this fucking land, bro. I'm done with it.
They're making it to the point where okay.
Bro.
Think about this. There's two things that have popped up recently that I've never seen before I have never seen it before. One thing. A president shitting on stage. Like, what the fuck?
Wait, where'd you see that?
Bro.
Dude, Joe Biden.
Oh. You saw that? I didn't see it. Really?
You didn't
That's
see that?
crazy. No, I didn't see it. Jesus, that's
Oh
crazy.
my
I don't
God,
even
he
know if I'd want
pooped
to see it.
himself on stage, bro. Like they're doing this on purpose. Like, oh, let's make this.
Wait, what was it you said that they said that they're going to get Michelle Obama to they're going to pull a switcheroo?
Yeah.
That makes
That
sense
was
to
the
me.
plan.
That makes sense to me.
That was the plan. Because,
That
think
makes sense,
about it. Like, oh, Mexico had the first woman president. Now, America.
Okay, now they're trying to say viral video was found to be edited to make it appear Biden tried to sit down without a chair. And
oh man, they're just
pooping on
trying to
himself.
give that guy
No,
shit.
but
What a joke.
But when you analyze the footage, people are covering their nose. They're like smelling this. It's not
Oh man,
like he literally pooped on stage. Like, and it makes sense because he's not in good. Like you can tell that dude's not right.
hey, but if you've ever shit your pants, man, you got to feel bad about that.
Wait a minute. And why was he the only one trying to sit in a chair while everyone's standing up? That doesn't even make sense. So let's
Oh, there it is. Is
let's
this it?
let's critically think about what they said. What did they say it was? That he was trying to what?
Look, like right there.
Okay, but he's the only one. Look at her nose covered. He's the only one trying to sit down. How come he's the only one trying to sit down? That's a lie.
That's just fucking strange as fuck.
It is strange, man. It is strange.
Yo, he's literally like, yeah,
Look.
and then they had to walk him out.
Look.
Right.
Look at.
He's supposed to be shaking the hands of the
Hey,
of the
bro,
veteran.
that's not even Joe Biden, dude. That's the fucking clone,
His
dude.
mini me, his clone. I don't know, man. We live in a crazy society, man.
Like, dude.
2 senior citizens are gonna battle it out to be
Right.
the next president of the United States.
And one pooped his
And
pants.
one is a major celebrity.
Let's see.
And potentially he might win because this fool's son just got fucking charged with felony gun charges.
Well, we
Yeah,
know
but the other
we know
guy's a
one thing.
felon. The other guy's a felon,
yeah,
right?
so they're all felons in the game,
Right, like,
dude.
dude, this is like such a crazy experiment.
But like all those charges, they're just hyping up that red crowd even more, bro. Like it's insane.
One
The
of
more
these-
criminal he becomes, the bigger the martyr he is to the right.
Right.
To
But
the right.
isn't he like the white O.J. Simpson? Like they just get mad that the law didn't get him. And it's
No,
like,
but for reals, right, Zero? This isn't what we want representing our country right here, bro.
It shows weakness. It shows weakness to the rest of the world.
hello.
It shows
Come
weakness.
on,
It
bro.
shows incompetence. It shows, but think about it. Like when you ask France and the colonial powers to leave Africa, everybody goes, "Well, that's not a big deal. Africa's super big. Africa's super big." And the
this is
minerals
why
that
I
Africa
played this
provides.
earlier because I don't know if you saw this. Like this food is just frozen.
Right? No, I saw that earlier. That was kind of silly. Yeah, that was kind of silly. But also, too, man, the guy
Like,
doesn't
bro,
learn.
like think about it. He's just standing there, bro, like just completely frozen.
Right. He's
This happened 2 days ago.
Wow.
they're gonna
He's not even blinking, yo.
he's gonna
Right.
be pulled because they're gonna call him like Alzheimer's and be like, oh, he's suffering from Alzheimer's. That's why he pooped on the fucking stage.
There was a YouTuber that was like, yo, if you guys notice, he hasn't blinked in a minute.
Right. Funny. Noticing all the details. Oh, man.
like, but this is
You
the
know,
age
like
we're
they're
in,
all
you know?
dancing with music and he's the only one just like what the fuck am I doing here?
Damn, lost. They're gonna claim that he has Alzheimer's and they're gonna replace him with someone.
Of course.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think
he's
that's
just a figurehead, man. He doesn't really make the calls, you know? And that's what I think is interesting is the chimpanzee did make the calls. That's what kind of fucked them all up.
But we also have to.
So that's something I could agree with. Like, I have a big gut feeling he doesn't make any calls, dog, for this country, bro.
Right. Of course not.
Like, there's no way he can.
But not like that. If you remember the Democratic convention when, like, after that one, they all just bowed out and let him be president, I thought, what the fuck did they agree to? Because they must have agreed to something, you know? I mean, all of a sudden, this fool just was like the head, and I was like,
But think about it. It's okay. Why did he win? Right? Why
well,
did
because they
because he was
were just trying to
win.
beat the chimpanzee, you know?
Look?
They did
This is
they
the
did
way
Bernie Sanders dirty, dog.
No,
this
dude,
is
they
the
totally
way.
did Bernie
This is
dirty.
the way the Trans-Pacific Partnership should have rolled out. It was Obama who introduced the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Then it was supposed to be Hillary Clinton to enact the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and then, boom, again, another one of those people from the camp because Obama, Hillary, all these they're from the same camp. It's like if Obama's still being a president if Biden's in office because he was his vice president, right? So it's like if Obama's still in presidency, right? But they're acting like, oh no, it's Joe Biden that's doing it. You know, it's him. But the people behind him, all the people calling
It's the
the shots.
same team.
Exactly. That's my point.
And I'm trying to say, let's go back to the Mexico thing. Same shit. Okay, that woman is the same as the president that just left. Same team. So that's why the world is scared. You know. And then they won by a landslide. I'm telling you, man. It's just all the signals are there. But this country is gonna be interesting what the election does. Because do you think it's gonna be a landslide?
Maybe.
I mean, if it does, it'd be interesting. You know.
There's a reason why the media is calling him Hitler, right?
Well, but he's going out of his way to beat Hitler too.
They're like calling him
quoting
Hitler.
him.
Like he's acting like Hitler. He's saying dictator stuff. Like
Right,
Who's
he's
for
quoting
Trump?
him.
Trump.
Yeah.
Right. There was a news outlet that said, you know, they asked him, would you do something like a dictator would do? He's only on the first day. Only on the first day I'll do it. Just on the first day.
Look, for
He's
me,
already telling you
for
he's
me
gonna
to
do it.
For,
Oh, are you
for-
gonna
look,
abuse
for me
power?
to see him?
Right.
No, for me to see Donald Trump convicted over
Right.
paying money to a prostitute porn star, like that's a joke to me, to be honest with you. Because what's the difference between him and what Bill Clinton did? This fool straight up had his fucking intern give him head under the desk in the
Hey,
White
I
House.
tell
Bro.
you what, Mondo, you know what the difference
Like
is?
it's such a joke. It's such a circus.
But
You know?
Mondo, here's the difference, though, brother. And I think somebody said this, and I tripped out. It's so true. Think about this. Where was his wife when he was doing that? Okay, where was his wife, and what had she just gone through?
Who? Hillary Clinton?
No, the chimpanzee. Where was his wife when he was with that porn star?
Oh, I don't know. Like
He
he
was just
was
giving
probably a
birth.
savage, anyways, right?
She
Like
had just given birth. She had just given birth, so she was recovering from birth, and that guy was off with the porn star. And so, if you're a woman and you look at that, because I mean, we can talk about that, but you got to look at the details. Like, let's look beyond that. What was that guy doing? You know, and so a woman don't like to hear about a guy go and sleep with a porn star or let anybody else while his wife is recovering from birth. That's some crazy ass shit. I'm just saying, man. Like, people don't even talk about it. They're beginning to because this guy's been ahead way too long. So he's been ahead so long now they get to pick him apart. You know.
but I don't take it serious because it's like, dude, it's Donald Trump.
Right, I agree with you. I agree,
Like,
man. It's
he's
such
a
a
savage.
weird.
No, like, he's a real full blown savage, right? So
Yeah,
like
it's weird. Like he
he's
says weird shit.
uncut, bro. He does what he
Yes.
wants. He has all the money in the world. bro, you go to Vegas, there's a fucking tower, there's a big ass hotel. It says Trump on it, bro.
Like,
Like,
brother, what does that mean
he's-
though? You know what I mean? Like, fuck,
You know,
is
he's
that
in
good or bad?
fucking Home Alone.
Right.
That's where
Right. Oh my God, yes. I mean, but the thing is, that guy is just weird. Like,
Oh, hey, Zero, where was Hillary Clinton when this fool was getting head by the fucking intern?
Right.
You know what I'm
Where were
saying?
you at, G?
And then she ends up trying to run for president
she didn't
against
get it, though. She
against
didn't
who?
get it, man.
Against Obama, and then against Trump, and she couldn't win.
Yeah. Well, because she's very corrupt, and
Yeah.
you know
Too
she's
dirty.
not.
She was too dirty.
Yeah, she's super corrupt, massively corrupt.
It's like one of those things that Bernie would have won. It would have been like if we didn't go to Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, it would have changed.
Was
it.
Bernie supposed to win, Zero? Like,
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. You know, Bernie is the product of social media and Instagram and this little moment in time where, whoa, fucking that shit backfired on us. And I was just supposed to be like a distraction here, but like, fuck, I'm filling stadiums. You know, like, what the fuck's happening?
yo, he was filling stadiums. He filled the Coliseum like
Right.
crazy, bro.
Right.
Yo, he didn't expect to win. Come on, man. He never even had a full like a staff. Like, he never completed all the people that supposed
So
to be.
that just tells me that it's just a Shakespearean play. You know, this is not real. This is, we think it's real. It's not real.
He's banking on losing, and then the whole time saying he won. You know, it's just.
But what I'm saying is that it's all a play. It's all a play because it's playing itself again. This is no different than Nazi Germany time.
Bro, I had a friend going in my face, bro, talking about, bro, Trump has to win, man. Ever since fucking Biden's been in office, everything's gotten more expensive, man.
Right.
Yeah, and Trump's
Can't
going to make
take
it
it
cheaper.
anymore, man. And I'm just looking at this fool. I'm like, damn,
Oh,
bro,
God.
bro, it's not about that. Everything's getting expensive, bro.
Yes.
The homies
yes.
that were living in the 50s is not
Right.
what
Oh
is
my
living
God.
today now, bro.
Right.
Eventually, rent is going to be $5,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. If we let it.
You just
If we
have to
let
be
it.
prepared for it.
If we let it. If we let it. Because I don't, like I said, the whole EV sensation is a shitty plan. If there were a nice plan, they would build nice EV stations. They would make the charge of the EV be, 3.5 minutes, 5 minutes tops, 10 if you're like really struggling,
Why do you
But
think
it
it
takes
takes so
an
long?
hour and a half to fucking do these cars, man.
But why do you think it takes so long, Boo? Do you think they don't have the technology, or you think they're just making them wait a long time?
I just think they overhype technology and they think that is like, we believe hook, line, and sinker what they say. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is amazing and this is and we fucking believe it. And I challenge that by looking at it, by doing it like our ancestors did, right? Like, we used to just observe. Okay, well, that looks shitty. That doesn't look like it's going to work.
Right.
And then who the fuck wants to sit and wait an hour and a half for your fucking car to charge so you can only go almost 200 miles?
Right.
Because I know it determines how fast you drive that thing and how long the battery's going to last.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, all these things are a factor to what they're trying to set up for us as a community, as a people, as whatever
Right.
you want to call it. The answer to all this is our math. Simple. And you're like, whoa, what do you mean? I used our math, to build my body pretty good right now. I feel really good about my body. I'm like 100, almost, dude, I lost almost like close to 50 pounds.
I know. Pretty soon there's going to be 0-0.
But I did it using our math. I did 13 push-ups, 13 push-ups, 13 push-ups times 2, 26. 26 times 2, 52. This is what I'm doing every day. I'm using the math. There's a reason why we go from set to 13 and then 20. There's a reason for those numbers. Use them. 13, 20. Remember that. Lost Aslan. 13, 20. Do things in sequence of 13 and 20. That alone breaks so many mathematical farces. It just destroys them. because you actually accumulate with those number sequences.
Right. And actually, on those number sequences, Ruben, I was going to start off with before time gets goes by too fast. I want to do the 3 books for this week, and the first book I was going to tell you is Museo de Turquesa, so a mosaic turquoise.
Oh, I like that. I know that book.
Okay, so finish it, brother. Who's the author?
Arturo Mesa, right? It's Arturo
Yes.
Mesa. Yeah.
Arturo Mesa Gutierrez.
I want to read that book at Malinali. I want to have like a study group on the book, and then start really getting into our art and philosophy, because all that art and philosophy is based on math.
And I like that book because I a lot of the designs I used from Anáhuac, I used that book because it's easy with breaking down things at a level. It was just like, man, incredible. If anybody ever gets a chance to see that book, to read that book, it's just he also is a really good writer. I think he's a good author. The way he presents the information is really a good presentation. And the next book I'm going to suggest is a fiction book, and I don't suggest too many fiction books, but the book, this is called The Celestine Prophecy. The Celestine Prophecy, and it's by James Redfield. I had read this, years ago, and it's kind of an interesting book because I think a lot of times a book has to be described in fiction for people to grasp it. If it's told you it's real, your brain's not going to let you understand it. But it's kind of an interesting book. It talks about like a fiction book. It says like in deep in the heart of South America, a manuscript is found, and it's supposedly the 9 or 11 insights into life. So it's a story, and as the guy goes, and the insights come to him, by the end of the book, you've learned all the insights. And it's very interesting because it's a fiction book, but it does a lot of interesting things. It makes you look at your life, and it's just the people you're around, and it's interesting. They're very thought-provoking book.
You know what was interesting thing about that book is that you had mentioned that book.
Okay, you're right.
Through our friendship.
Okay.
At the time of our friendship. And I was at a thrift store one day, and I went, because I was really into the certain books. I was looking for certain books on the thrift stores because they were all written in the 70s. And I go, it wasn't that book I was looking for. But I'm going to go look for this. I'm going to go look at the old books. And I go like this, and I grab the first book, and it's The Celestine Prophecy.
Oh, shit.
I was like,
hey, that's cool. Hey, brother, in the chat, Palenque says he read it. And it's true. The power of coincidence.
Yeah, that's my point of that story is that I went, I'm
right.
Oh, what?
That's cool.
Oh, Daniel talks about this book.
Right.
And it's like, oh shit, this looks. And they wrote it in a way that you're just like, what's
next?
You're
just intrigued. You're like, the next chapter. It was really well written.
But the 9 insights were amazing. One of the insights I've talked about it on the podcast. One of the insights from that book that was really, really important, and for those of us that have children, this is more of a statement for us that have children. I mean, my children are old already, so they're not really relevant. But anybody who has children, well, I mean, like the bulk of he's my baby. Like he's the last one. Like
that guy's
it goes Tlawis to Tekpat, but Tekpat's already almost 18 years old. So I mean, he's not a baby.
Right.
There's only one, but. This is and it relates to Tekpat and Tlawis, right? Because in that Celestine Prophecies, they says there was one of the insights where they get into a cab and the cab driver starts talking about having a baby, right? And in one of the insights, they said that if you decide to have a child, wait 9 years before you have the next one. That once you have a child, you have to dedicate 9 years of 2 people caring emotionally all the things that we need to teach a child for 9 years so that it goes into his system. And then when a new baby gets introduced, he's not afraid of it. He's not like, there's no envy. There's no any of that because he's already acclimated to mom and dad. He's already separating from mom and dad. He wants to play. He wants to spend the night at his cousin's house. He wants to... I noticed that with Tekpat
and you gave him a good distance between them too. So
it was 9 years.
Wow, that's cool.
So 9 years.
I never thought about that. That's cool. And it
was 9 years. And I saw it was crazy because I was reading the book and seeing it in real time, and I'm like, wow, that's so true because the child from 0 to 9 is really dependent on your comfort, your gentleness. You're developing this child, and then now he's in the stage where I'm like I call him. I go, Tlawis, get over here. He did some, and then he like kind of, you could see, and he bends his leg in, and he puts his hands in front of, and I go, stand up straight, don't cower. This is not a talk for you to cower. This is a talk for you to stand straight because I have to address something to you. Okay? So don't be afraid of me, and don't be afraid of my tone. I just need to address something to you. And this is an important thing that you need to know. So stand up straight, stand up with presence. You're not in trouble, but feel what's inside of you because I'm addressing you. I'm not mad at you. I love you, but you need to do this now. And he did it. I had to talk to him like a man. I told him, no one taught me this, but I'm teaching you this because we're men. We need to stand firm. And people are going to talk to us with force. But we're going to stand up straight, and put our hands to the side, and we're going to be present when someone addresses us that way. We're not going to cower. I'm not teaching you to cower. This is the emotional development that we're talking about from 1 to 9. If I have a kid who's 4 years old, you know what I mean? And another kid who's 7 years old, I'm addressing Tlawis. I'm trying to teach them, stand straight, stand strong, be present, don't cower, understand that people can have strong voices. And then the 4-year-old walks in, Dad, I want this. I want.
Yeah.
And the 8-year-old suffers. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
That's a good intention, man.
Yeah.
Again, but I've always said, Ruben, you're good with intent, man.
Yeah, neither here nor there. But the awareness of it now, that it's in the awareness reality, we know to be gentle with our, we still need to develop the 7-year-old. He's not a big boy. Not till he's 9.
Right.
Not till he's 10. Not till he says, Dad, I'm a big boy. I could go do this now.
Yeah.
This is the type of love and attention that we need to give ourselves, because Tlawis was me.
Yeah. I think he's more of you than any of the other kids, to be honest with you. He's your mini me.
But he gets a dad.
Yeah. No, good point, Ruben.
He gets a dad. And not only does he get a dad, he gets a dad with presence, strength, focus, and discipline, and love.
Yo, the chat is on fire.
He gets that.
0, the viewership is at an all-time high. Man, we got a lot of people just chilling, relaxing with whoever they are with.
Hey, so check it out. I'm gonna hit
podcast, right?
Right.
Hey, so the last book, man, I'm doing 3. So my last book, but I'm glad the Celestine Prophecy hit a personal note with 0.
Absolutely, man. It taught me a lot. Like, it taught me that how important is that.
And you know, too, Ruben, what was hard for me is that I suggested that book to somebody and they just were not into it, man. And kind of like, man,
not a coincidence. The book would say not a coincidence.
Right. Oh my God. No, you're right. Oh my God. But I'm just saying, Ruben, I'm so glad that yours was different.
No, I'm glad that you shared that book with me, because it brought things to perspective, that having children back to back was a hard task for anyone.
And that's what I was thinking when you said that, man. And I remember those 2 boys, man. Like, those kids are like my homies,
Yeah. No, and you had a lot to do with their development. I know I have to give you thanks because I was gone sometimes, in business, and I know that
was a privilege,
Their deal, Daniel was around, and I had a good circle around me. Whether we ended up parting ways, but my children were very blessed with being around people like yourself, and
right. Well, and they're going to continue.
The dad, me too. Shit, they're lucky they had me.
And
I'm not saying that in an ego way. I'm saying that in a proud way.
And Ruben, they're going to do that.
Their colonization, their colonization didn't destroy me.
Yeah.
I still became who I needed to become.
Right. And you're a good dad, brother. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like that's a I can't say that, but I mean I try to be a good Theo, and so but I was gonna say so the last book, and it kind of leads us to where we are now. And again, too, actually it's a fiction book, but I don't know if it's fiction, but it's Sandra Cisneros, House on Mango Street.
Mm.
Have you ever had that one, or have you ever
I
heard
have
of it?
not. I've not even heard of that one.
I hope somebody. It was one of my favorite books, and kind of it made me cry at the end. I was like, oh man, because Sandra Cisneros was is a really good author, man, and she just wrote this book about House on Mango Street, and just kind of being different, and just like I don't know, man, it just was a very heart moving, but a very simple little book, House on Mango Street. And she's a very very endearing author too, and so. There you go. I like that. I love the chat read it too. But I remember that book, man. And again, to Ruben, I try to suggest because truth be told, I struggle reading. I struggle, especially because I had to read so much stuff that I did not like, that I just was not into. And man, my mind would wander after I read. It's like, man, what the hell did I just read? But so these are books that actually touched my. I actually remembered listening. And so, but yeah, I just thought that was always a good book, and I feel fortunate that I did run into some good books. But yeah,
Right. Well, it's been a great talk. We kind of freestyled this one.
Yeah, but
we had a plan, but brother, it was a good one.
people love it. People
Great.
love it, Zero. Like
Well,
the chat's lit.
I want to know. I want to let them know we love them too.
Of course.
We
Dude,
love
guys,
them.
we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Make sure
Oh, good shit.
confirm you're subscribed. Hit that like button.
Absolutely.
Add a comment. Share the video, bro. Just guys, hit the like button. It's gonna help us in the algorithm. Let's get us to over 1,000. That's gonna help us get monetized. We've been
Right
doing
on.
this for what, 3 years already, Zero?
Yeah.
It's time
Our
to get
evolution.
monetized. Help us out. We're gonna be coming out with some Q&As, one-on-ones, some extended clips of the podcast.
Right.
We're gonna have Daniel do his thing, hit segments. It's those are the plans in the works.
Right.
Right on, man.
No, we
And
have
with love.
Because,
With love, Armando.
it's a podcast, right, Zero? Like ultimately, we have audience to serve, and it's continuing to grow.
Yeah, and this information is for everyone across Turtle Island. This is not limited to people who are from Los Angeles or from California or from Mexico only. We're trying to go back to our old ways. And to do that, we have to learn from another me. When Daniel teaches me, I'm learning from another me. When I address my child with love and firmness, I'm addressing another me. When I talk to you in the audience, I'm addressing another me. I treat it with respect. I treat it with honor. I put my life on the line for this. For 25 years, I felt like that's the way it was. It is. But we have a strong community. I know it's there. I could close my eyes and I could see it. I could see it gathered. I could see it come together in its principles of math, science, art, and spirituality. I could see in 100 years that our children will be on the path back to Tamawanchan, the place where we know exists, where the greatest artists that walk this Turtle Island live. Any last words, Daniel?
No, bro, I was gonna say the chat. It seemed like the chat was just good today. Really, I really appreciate that they're just right there with us.
Absolutely. Every step of the way, we're together.
They're very well. I don't know, well versed in what we're talking about. It's just cool. It's nice to feel a family, But yeah, it's love, Ruben. And today, like having you feel that emotion, man, makes you feel good, because that's real, brother. And we're humans having real human experiences,
Absolutely, absolutely. My experience is different from my son's, and
I envy them. They're very, they get a good dad, Ruben. It's a good story. I dig it, man. This is the evolution of Turtle Island.
Absolutely, that's it, right there. The evolution of Turtle Island. What are we? In the mandate de Cuauhtémoc, it says, "How are we going to view Anáhuac when it returns?" How are we going to talk about this great place that's a part of us? How are we going to revere it? Are we going to put it on the pedestal that it deserves to be on? Because it's based on the principles of nature and the love for oneself, another me, another you. We'll see you next Wednesday.